This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Vilgus.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us. Topping our news tonight, an increase in human trafficking nationwide and here in Florida.
The National Human Trafficking Hotline reports 7,500 cases of human trafficking were reported last year, compared to just 5,500 in 2015. ABC7's Kate Flexer joins us now with what's being done locally and what still needs to be done to combat this crime. Kate.
Good evening, guys. Those involved in the fight against human trafficking say those numbers may actually be a good sign. They say it means that more victims are seeking help.
It's people that are being either deceived or, threatened or even sometimes physically held.
Many call human trafficking modern-day slavery. Women and men forced against their will into prostitution, and it's increasingly common nationwide. A new report from the National Human Trafficking Hotline ranks Florida the third state in the nation for the crime, with 550 reported cases in 2016, up from 2015 by more than 100. Derek Thompson of More to Life, an organization that helps victims, says those numbers are actually a good sign.
It means the awareness and education that's been happening for many years, that More to Life's been one of the leaders of, is actually starting to pay off.
At Selah Freedom, President and CEO Elizabeth Melendez-Fisher agrees those numbers might not mean human trafficking is increasingly common, but instead increasingly reported.
It was out there anyway. They were just not being identified. They thought, this is all I am. They were dying on the streets. They were thrown as drug abuse or homeless and just lumped in this category.
Over the years, Selah Freedom has coupled with law enforcement, training officers to deal with victims and provide the resources they need. The biggest thing, Melendez says, viewing these people not as criminals, but instead as victims. Both groups say the next step is focusing on prevention and helping men and women before they become victims.
If this prevention can blow up and go everywhere and get in a little 12-year-old's head when she's about to run away from home, that there's another way and you could report this and we could take you a whole different pathway, then we want to put our safe houses out of business. That's the goal.
For a look at the full report, log on to mysuncoast.com. Back to you guys.
All right, Kate, thank you. Manatee County Sheriff's detectives are searching for a teenager who they believe is involved in a Lakewood Ranch murder. Investigators say 17-year-old Alan Bailey is wanted for murder and armed robbery in connection to the death of Alexander Chirp. Deputies arrested one suspect in the case, 19-year-old Jose Hernandez, over the weekend. He's now behind bars facing those same charges. His bond was set at $850,000. Chirp's body was found with gunshot wounds in the parking lot of Greenbrook Park on February 5th. Anyone with information on the shooting or Bailey's whereabouts is asked to call Manatee County Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS.
New developments tonight involving the retired Tampa police captain who shot and killed a man in a movie theater 3 years ago. A hearing is underway where a judge will decide whether Curtis Reeves can claim his actions fall under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Authorities say the 74-year-old fatally shot 43-year-old Chad Olson because he was upset Olson was texting during the previews of the movie. But the defense says that Olson attacked Reeves before he pulled out his gun to protect himself. If the judge rules Stand Your Ground does apply in this case, then Reeves cannot be tried for murder.
Now an update on capital punishment in Florida. Prosecutors can now seek the death penalty in ongoing cases, despite a ruling from the state Supreme Court that finds the current death penalty law unconstitutional. The High Court ruling today the death penalty can be applied as long as there is a unanimous jury recommendation. In October, justices struck down a state law requiring a death penalty vote from only 10 jury members. Prosecutors had been in limbo since then, wondering whether or not they could seek death. Attorney General Pam Bondi asked the court to clarify.
With drier than normal weather conditions on the Suncoast, the Forestry Service is elevating the risk for wildfires. We're now at a moderate risk, but that could soon be raised to even more, to a high risk. To help avoid any major wildfires, Sarasota County has held controlled burns more than 30,000 acres over the last 3 years. Now they hope all of that work will pay off. At the Venice Fire Department, they say that we've been lucky so far.
Lack of rain that we've had and the wind conditions it is now, and with the few cold fronts we've had through and the humidity went down, the increase in the fire intensity and the risk that a fire will start has gone up.
And coming up tonight at 6, we'll have more on what you can do to help prevent wildfires. Sounds like some advice from Smokey Bear there.
Yeah, definitely. But it has been so dry. I mean, we had some rain Saturday, but I think we're still way behind.
I think we need some more.
Yeah. Here's Bob with more on our forecast tonight. Bob?
Yeah, across the state, for that matter, the rainfall deficit for the winter months so far, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rain below average. We don't normally get a whole lot of rainfall during the winter, but the rain we do get usually associated with cold fronts that move through, and they do tend to dry things out. The system we had over the weekend, it was not a cold front, so things aren't too dry out there in terms of the atmosphere. It's still rather moist. The dew point temperature at 62 is when that dew point goes down to 30 to 40 degrees, and you get the low humidities when the fire danger is extremely high. Right now, 75 degrees, our current temperature. West wind at 9 miles an hour. The pressure 30.06, and that is holding steady, but that high pressure ridge will hold on for one more day. And then, speaking of rain, we will get some beneficial showers. Moving on in, it looks like on Wednesday, the timing of it appears to be in the morning and early afternoon, but we'll see how that plays out. It takes a while for it to get across the Gulf there. 72 degrees right now in Jacksonville. Sea breezes developed there. Also in Sarasota, 75, but inland areas still into the low 80s at this time. We had some mid 80s in places like Arcadia. Just an hour ago, it was 85 degrees there. Avon Park now at 81. They too were at 85 degrees. Northport at 81. Temperature almost 10 degrees cooler at Anna Maria, where that sea breeze has moved into Palmetto, Sarasota, Venice, and all the way down to Inglewood. We'll talk more about this storm system and when and how much rain we can expect coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. For the past 2 years, Florida lawmakers have debated eliminating regulations on building or expanding hospitals. But now the debate over the Certificate of Need regulatory process has expanded to include nursing homes and hospice facilities. One group against getting rid of the regulation is the Florida Healthcare Association. The FHCA says if it's eliminated, there would be more empty beds in existing facilities, which would affect operations and the state's Medicaid program.
It's not like nursing homes A is going to steal people from beds from nursing home B. Where nursing homes will go is they will have to fill their beds because you can't operate these buildings with low occupancy.
Governor Rick Scott and some key lawmakers want to take a more free market approach to health care that includes eliminating certificates of need. The process involves hospitals, nursing homes, and hospice operators needing to get approval from the State Agency for Healthcare Administration before they can build new facilities.
An encouraging sign that the manatee population is doing well. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission conducted a 4-day aerial survey earlier this year. Observers reported a preliminary count of 6,620 manatees in Florida waters, almost equally split on the east and west coast of the state. Researchers conduct these surveys each year after a cold front. They cover the areas that manatees are known to gravitate towards in the winter, like springs and waters with power plant discharges. The FWC says this is the 3rd straight year of a minimum count higher than 6,000, which is great news.
Very good news. Yeah. Well, still to come in your Suncoast News, a former Pittsburgh Pirate forced to stay on the sidelines. The now Atlanta Braves player opening up today about the deadly car crash that he and his family were involved in.
And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus, the stress of politics, how the buzz around Washington could be affecting your mental health. That's coming up in Health Smart.
New way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like cell phone protection for 3 phones, plus an interest-bearing account. And that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
We are going to build a great society where no man or woman are the victim of fear or poverty or hatred, where every man and woman has a chance for fulfillment and prosperity and hope.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
As the only certified surgeon of excellence in metabolic and bariatric surgery in the area, Dr. Joseph Chepley has performed more than 1,300 successful bariatric surgeries. Join us on ABC7 News from 5 to 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, February 23rd. Dr. Joseph Chepley and his talented staff will be taking your phone calls as we discuss what makes someone a good candidate for surgery and the different options available to patients in our area. Thursday, February 23rd.
Car experts and customers agree. There's a whole lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru offers more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And Subaru had the best resale value of all brands for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $209 a month or get 0% financing during the Subaru True Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like full ID theft protection, and that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the first time, we're hearing from an Atlanta Braves baseball player about the incident that changed his family's life. Sean Rodriguez signed with the Braves back in November. Last month, he was driving near his Miami home with his wife and 2 young sons when a stolen police car plowed into his SUV. Rodriguez's wife suffered several broken bones and their children had to be hospitalized. But Rodriguez says he is grateful.
You definitely stare into, your kid's eyes a little more, into your wife's eyes. Just definitely bask in that moment a little more, that you get to, see them and play with them and kiss them. So yeah, there's definitely a level of appreciation you can't deny.
The person driving the stolen police car was killed in the crash. As for Rodriguez, he suffered a torn rotator cuff and some other injuries. He is expected to miss at least the first half of the season. Rodriguez played the last 2 seasons with the Pittsburgh Pirates before signing with the Braves in November.
And we are now just a few days away from the first games of spring training. This Friday, the Baltimore Orioles will take on the Detroit Tigers at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium in Lakeland. And then on Saturday, the Orioles will go head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Pirates at Lecom Park in Bradenton. That game will also start at 1:05. And then check out the picture that's making the rounds on social media, capturing the excitement of baseball. The Orioles retweeting these pictures of 2 young Orioles fans perched atop their bicycles to get a peek at spring training action on Saturday. It just gets them high enough to see over the outfield fence. Waiting for a ball to head their way, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's the passion of this time of year, definitely, young and old.
And it's a little more intimate than what you get at the regular MLB game, so that's what I like about it. Yeah.
Big crowd showed up in Bradenton downtown on Saturday too for the Pirates pep rally, and there were a lot of kids there getting their caps signed and their baseball bats signed, and it was just getting in the spirit and the mood of things there. And things are going to be picking up here.
Lecom now.
That's right, Lecom. Well, this was in downtown, but obviously for Lecom, this was downtown Bradenton for the Pirate pep rally, and I want to thank all the people that showed up and said hello, and so they watch ABC7. Van Wezel webcam showing a nice day today for outdoor activities, and on the area beaches we had sunshine, but also still some problems with red tide. Now there are some changes on the way. Here's a look now at all the rainfall moving through Houston and also into Louisiana, heading toward New Orleans. Some big storms there, and there could be some rough weather for the southeast. Now, we're not anticipating anything too rough here. However, as this low pressure tracks across the Gulf over the next couple of days, by Wednesday, it should be parked pretty much here in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and that will bring us lots of clouds and some much needed rainfall. It appears that Wednesday will be the rain day and then not much else going on, and temperatures will stay relatively warm. You know, this last system was not a cold front, and we didn't chill out at all on Sunday. In fact, we warmed up today as well as much of this week. Temperatures will be above average. And with those warm temperatures around that low pressure system heading our way, there's a chance we will see some showers and even some isolated thunderstorms for the area. You see this here? This is that line. It looks like a line of showers, but actually it's a sea breeze front that's made it all the way in now into central sections of Manatee County and into Sarasota County. Now, red tide report came out on Friday. The full report showing the red tide has moved a little bit further south, too. We're getting moderate to high concentrations located near Osprey southward all the way down to near Inglewood, and there have been some reports there coming in, and you can see that medium to high concentrations of red tide. Also, right there near New Pass, there's still some red tide being reported there. Not as prevalent, but down south is where it's really started to pick up, and you can see that there's the Venice Airport, and there's the different samples showing up into the moderate to high category of red tide. Whenever we get these fronts and systems, kind of stirs the water up a little bit, and then the wind moving onshore causes that red tide, at least the ill effects, to be a little bit more prevalent along area beaches. Right now, though, sunshine up and down the area, 75 degrees now in Sarasota, and the temperature, dew point temperature, still pretty high, 62. Humidity at 64%. We have a west wind at 9, and the pressure 30.06, 78 degrees in Bradenton. Now, statewide temperature 81 degrees in Orlando now, 79 into Key West, and 75 degrees Sarasota, as well as into Inglewood. Bradenton at 76 degrees. You can see the extent of that sea breeze now. Not into Mayaca City yet. It's 82 there. Arcadia at 80 and 81 at Lake Placid. The wind flow, we'll see that sea breeze develop once again tomorrow afternoon, basically bringing in some cooler temperatures right near the coast in the afternoon, but generally winds out of the east and southeast for inland areas. The forecast overnight, clear skies up until midnight, a few clouds late tonight, some high clouds spilling in from the Gulf, and you can see that with the future cast. Here they come. Here's the line of storms that could be rather intense in the panhandle of Florida, also up into parts of Georgia. And then by 11:30 in the morning, you can see showers starting to move in and then sticking around through much of the day. Scattered shower activity periodically throughout the morning and afternoon. Eventually, the whole system clears out of here by Thursday. Big story out west is the heavy rain and snow that continues to pile in to California, where folks are asked to stand by for the possibility of more evacuations there. Well, here's the forecast. As we look in through the week, we'll see a nice day tomorrow, maybe a little bit more cloudiness around. A good chance for showers. As I mentioned, a few isolated thunderstorms on Wednesday. And then we clear out on Thursday with a slight chance for a few morning showers. Friday looks great. And then here we go, another weekend with highs in the upper 70s with plenty of sunshine around. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. And Suncoast Traffic Watch, traffic moving slowly at this hour on the Ringling Bridge with traffic backed up as you head east back into in the city of Sarasota. Here's a shot from our tower cam right now, and it is slow going. You can see that traffic all the way backed up if you look over to the right side of your screen, all the way over towards St. Armand Circle. So slow going as you head off the key tonight. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news this evening, a DNA-based algorithm that could someday predict whether a person is likely to go bald, one that is way more reliable than just looking at your family history. University of Edinburgh researchers have identified 287 genetic markers linked to hair loss. Only 8 had been previously found. And it's interesting to note many of the genetic signals for male pattern baldness came from the X chromosome, which men inherit from their mothers. Researchers now hope to fine-tune these new results to be able to specifically predict a person's likelihood of going bald. A majority of Americans, 57%, are suffering from post-election stress. That's according to a survey by the American Psychological Association. Nearly half of those surveyed, which included Democrats and Republicans, reported that the political climate was either a very significant or somewhat significant source of stress for them. 2/3, or 66%, said they were stressed about the future of the nation. Researchers say this study indicates that uncertainty or a lack of control is a very strong source of stress. Advice if this is affecting you. Experts say to limit social media and get involved with causes that are important to you. Coming up, 2 states being slammed with severe weather, the damage and aftermath of storms in California and Texas. Plus, an inferno rages through a multi-million-dollar estate, why it took firefighters more than 12 hours to get it under control.
Your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Hurry in to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota for big savings on some of America's best vehicles. Over 100 standard and available safety features make the new Chrysler Pacifica a safe investment for any family. And right now, you can buy one for just $24,999 or save up to $11,000 on a new Ram Crew Cab during Ram Truck Month. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Contemporary Cabinetry and Closet Concepts. Our strength is in building a relationship with our clients. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years. When you organize your home, you simplify your life. Call today for a free in-home consultation or visit the web at contemporarycabinetry.srq.com.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking Dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
Luxury for less at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKZ Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
The National Weather Service sending out teams today to assess the damage in San Antonio after thunderstorms and powerful winds swept through the area over the weekend. More than 150 homes were damaged in that area. Only a few minor injuries had been reported. There were also reports of a possible tornado touching down in different areas of the city. About 40,000 people were without power. On the West Coast, people in California dealing again with more heavy rain, floods, and landslides. A powerful Pacific storm drenching the San Francisco Bay Area yesterday, bringing with it high winds and heavy rainfall. Downpours swelling creeks and rivers, threatening northern and central regions, which are already soggy. The weather closed dozens of roads and more than 100,000 people lost power. It even caused a massive mud flow, which had vehicles stuck for hours. About 150 miles north of San Francisco, the water level continued to fall at the Oroville Dam, where a damaged spillway had raised major flood concerns and prompted an evacuation last week.
Tonight, investigators in Virginia are digging through the charred shell of a mansion to determine what started a massive inferno that destroyed this home. Flames tore through the $2.7 million estate on Saturday, and thick black plumes of smoke could be seen for miles. It took firefighters just 8 minutes to arrive on scene after the 911 call, but then it took them more than 12 hours to put out the fire because there was only one fire hydrant in the neighborhood. There are no national standards requiring communities to have hydrants within a certain distance or to have them at all. Fortunately, no one was hurt. One dog in Ohio knows how to make a lot of noise, but not by barking. Tim and Yvonne Blankenship stopped into a restaurant for some lunch when their dog Diamond was apparently tired of waiting. She started honking the horn. Diamond was really in a hurry. Tim and Yvonne were apparently only inside for a couple of minutes, but Diamond just kept hitting the horn every few seconds, like, come on, I'm ready to go.
And doing it right along with the bark.
Right, with the bark. Oh my goodness.
That is one
Dogs
smart dog.
Dogs are the greatest thing, but one thing they're not is patient.
Yeah.
They are very impatient, and they
Yes.
don't want to wait, and they don't like being away from you.
Yes.
So when you go into the store, they think
They
you're
can
never
see
coming
you.
back. Right.
Or, yeah, you know.
Bothers them. Like, why are they leaving me? Still to come on your Suncoast News, help for veterans suffering from PTSD.
They're fighting for freedom, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Healthcare is a basic pursuit of happiness.
Straight ahead, a special report on whether some veterans should be able to use medical marijuana to treat illness.
We consider the first 60 minutes the golden hour, the time that we can do the most to affect how a patient's going to do. I think what motivates all of us is that at the other end of it, we see them, smiling and happy and going back to their families. That's our greatest satisfaction. Sarasota Memorial Hospital is just an amazing place to take care of people.
We are going to build a great society where no man or woman or the victim of fear or poverty or hatred, where every man and woman has a chance for fulfillment and prosperity and hope.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500 starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Come out to the best party of the season, the Goodwill Mardi Gras Gala on February 28th at Michael's on E. Tickets at experiencegoodwill.org.